Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a little thought experiment. The new basic repertoire I couldn't live without. 16 examples. A maximum of 16. Really, that's enough. These are works that I just think ought to be part of the basic repertoire that everybody knows, but that aren't. And I've talked about them, God knows how many times over the years, but I thought it might be handy and interesting to put them together in list form so that you can see them all at a glance and, of course, contribute your own list of works that you think should be part of the basic repertoire if there were any justice in the universe. Because these are all masterpieces, fabulous, wonderful, amazing works. So let's begin with some piano music. Maurice Emmanuel, one of those wonderful French composers who wrote like 6 pieces of music, lived to be 175 and dropped dead. They just didn't produce a lot, but what they did produce was wonderful. And he wrote 6 sonatinas for piano that are absolutely amazing. They're gorgeous, fabulous, wonderful works. In fact, I have them sitting right here. I think I do, don't I? I usually, it's one of those pieces. I just sort of keep them handy. Is this them? No, this is chamber music by Maurice Emmanuel, which is also lovely. He was a really fine composer. What were his dates? As long as I have this thing out. 1862 to 1938. Okay, so he didn't live to be 172, but he had a good long life and plenty of opportunities to write wonderful, wonderful music. So listen to those 6 sonatinas for piano. They are fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Next, Haydn, Symphony No. 70. This compact 15-minute long symphony with the funniest finale in the universe. It's a triple fugue that's built out of absolutely nothing, like 5 notes, 6 notes, who knows what. It's full of incredibly brilliant counterpoint, but all done with such a light touch and just a big, bold, exciting, compressed work. Phenomenal piece of music. It really is. Next, Ernesto Halffter, his Sinfonietta, one of the great neoclassical masterpieces from the early decades of the 20th century, like the 1920s, I think, is when it was written. It's just delightful. It's a concerto grosso. It's got solos for like all the woodwind instruments and the strings, and it's got 2 sort of whirling snare drums at either end of the orchestra at different pitches. And it's full of absolutely wonderful, witty, Spanish delightfulness. And the slow movement has genuine spiritual intensity. Really a beautiful, remarkable piece of music. Something that you really ought to get to know and that ought to be standard repertoire. It just has to be. Martinu, the Bouquet of Flowers. This is a cantata based on folk poetry. Wonderful folk poetry, usually about like poisoning and death and other stuff. It's so much fun. But if you like Carmina Burana, for example, as a contemporary choral work, if you like those rhythmic, punchy Stravinsky Symphony of Psalms, things like that, you're going to love A Bouquet of Flowers. It really is. It's only been recorded a couple times, 2 or 3 times, but run out and grab it and give it a listen. You will be absolutely transported. It's fantastic. And I just wish that people would play it as part of the standard repertoire. Next, Uuno Clami, his Kalevala suite. Uuno Clami was a post-Sibelian Finnish composer whose aesthetic was basically French. A lot of what he wrote sounds like Ravel. In fact, the last of his sea pictures sounds like Bolero played sideways. He loved French music. He was a brilliant orchestrator. His music is fun and colorful. And if you like, Finnish mythology-inspired pieces like the Lemminkainen Suite by Sibelius or these other things, you really should hear Klami. He also wrote a Lemminkainen tone poem that's every bit as good as Sibelius's. It's tons and tons of fun. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. And totally enjoyable. Joly Braga Santos, yes, the Portuguese composer, his 3rd symphony. He studied with Vaughan Williams for a while, and boy, can you tell, the 3rd symphony is, takes the scherzo of Vaughan Williams' Pastoral Symphony and sort of, hoofs it over to Portugal, and oh my word, It's a copy, yes, but a very good one. And there's plenty of other wonderful music in the symphony that is not copied. It's really, really lovely, luscious, modal, Vaughan Williams / Respighi, that kind of stuff. And he wrote 6 symphonies. He went kind of avant-garde in the last couple of them, particularly the 5th, which is fabulous also. But, 3 and 4 would grace any symphony program. The audience would go nuts at the end of them. They are really, really fun. So those are worth hearing. Then, if you're into like the nationalist ethnic dance stuff craze, like Dvorak's Slavonic dances or the Brahms Hungarian dances or those things, you gotta hear Nikos Skalkottas' 36 Greek dances. Now, Skalkottas was interesting. He was a Schoenbergian 12-note guy some of the time, and a sort of romantic nationalist some of the time. And the 36 Greek dances belong to his nationalist school, obviously, but they have an edge to them. There's a harmonic sort of pungency and a coloristic acerbitude, acerbicness. I don't know what the noun is of that thing, but in any case, really pungent, lovely, wonderful settings of some fabulous folk tunes. So, give that a shot. It's on BIS, all 36 of them. And it's just a great, 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 great record. Albert Roussel, Symphony No. 2. One of the great French symphonies of the 20th century, maybe the great French symphony of the 20th century. A powerful work. A dark, brooding, wonderful work in 3 movements in Frankian cyclical form with, tunes and ideas that come back. It's really gripping. And it takes concentration. It's not an easy work, but it's a powerful work, a brilliant work, and one that really deserves to get played. Everyone who does it and hears it really loves it. I remember when Christoph Eschenbach recorded it and said, wow, this piece is a masterpiece. Where has it been all my life? That sort of thing. It's one of those. It's a discovery. Ernest Bloch, the Suite for Viola and Orchestra, probably the greatest work ever written for viola and orchestra. It really is a viola concerto. It exists in 2 versions, one for viola and piano and one for viola and orchestra. And it's the orchestral one you got to get, especially the finale, which has Bloch's Chinese idiom with wood blocks and colorful percussion and pentatonic themes. Oh my God, it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. As good as unknown, too. But it's been recorded a lot of times because there's not a lot of great music for viola and orchestra. Well, this is definitely up there. It really is. And I can't imagine it not bringing the house down in a live concert. It's so much fun and just so beautifully written. Leroy Anderson, his piano concerto. Oh, I love this piece. It's sort of an American pop music gloss on the Rachmaninoff Second Piano Concerto. It does a lot of the same things that the Rachmaninoff Second Piano Concerto does, at least in the first movement, let's put it that way. And after that, it just does American turkey in the straw type stuff in the finale. And the problem with it is that it's short. It's about 18, 19 minutes long. And Anderson refused to publish it in his lifetime. He wasn't satisfied with it. God knows why. It is just gushing with wonderful tunes and wit and warmth, and it's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Give it a listen. You'll I'm sure will agree. Handel. We got to have a big oratorio as part of our new basic repertoire, don't we? Parnasso in Festa. I remember so vividly discovering this just a decade or so ago. Never heard of it. I mean, Parnasso in Festa basically means the gods have a party. Parnassus, where all the gods are hanging out, having a good time, having a festival. It's one of those festa teatrale things written for a royal wedding, but we don't have to care about that. I mean, it makes no difference that it was written for a royal wedding. All we care about is that the music's fabulous. Handel, he raided a lot of his other stuff in order to get Parnasso and Festa, like, Athaliah and other things, his oratorios. So it's got Handel's greatest hits all packed into one handy-dandy Italian thing. And you don't have to even listen to the words. You just listen to the music. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Gabriel Piernet, Cydalise et le Chèvre-pied. Well, the suite is rather well known, but the rest of it? Gosh, no. I mean, forget about Daphnis and Chloe. This has this ancient Greek subject. Well, it's a classical Greek subject. It's got a wordless chorus. It's got a harpsichord. It's a neoclassical thing in some respects, in others not. It's brilliantly written. And I mean, everybody knows the adorable march of the furry little fawnlets or whatever it's called. But the whole ballet is worth hearing. It's gorgeous, gorgeous piece of music. If you can't find the complete ballet, it's only been recorded once. Go for the suites and wait for the full thing to come back. Oh, we need to have a major piano concerto. My suggestion is Einar Englund's Piano Concerto Number 1. It's more fun than anyone has any right to have. It's Bartók and Prokofiev is what it is. And really good Bartók and Prokofiev. And it's just the most fun anyone has any right to have. It's full of brittle humor. Shostakovich sort of pops up in there too a little bit. But Englund has his own language. And the finale. Oh, the finale. The finale is so much fun. It has this grand romantic build-up, and I return to the big theme, except there is no big theme. It's just a 3-note da-da-da. That's it. You expect there to be this gushing, big, slushy thing, and the orchestra wants there to be, but it's not. And the piano's, making all sorts of big, fat chords with crunchy dissonances underneath. Oh, God, it's fun. A totally great, great, great piece. And then, as a tone poem thing that you never get to hear, that's just oodles of fun, Geert Veet, the fabulous Norwegian composer, most of whose life's work burnt down in a fire in his barn, which was just a terrible tragedy, so only a small fraction of it survives. He was frightfully prolific. So there was tons and tons of music, and apparently it's like sitting there and smoldering still, and occasionally people peel back some, singed pages and reconstruct something or other. But Prillar is some sort of Viking thing. I mean, it's a Viking song or dance. Who knows what it is? It doesn't matter what a Prillar is. I don't care. I mean, I read about it in the booklet and completely forgot. So there you go. But I still listen to it. It's a big symphonic, romantic folk extravaganza for double string orchestra and brass and percussion and things. And oh, gosh, you'll never get it out of your head. It has an opening tune that's ya da 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 da, which you get to hear about 4,000 times. And it's, mesmerizing. It's great on a plane trip. For some reason, I always listen to it when I'm on a plane. And it works. It kills the time like nothing you've ever heard. Then Joaquin Turina, Canto a Sevilla, the Das Lied von der Erde of Spain. It's the Songs of Seville. And it consists of 3 orchestral movements interspersed by 4 vocal ones. So you have like an orchestral introduction, 2 song things, an orchestral interlude, 2 more song things, and an orchestral finale. And it's glorious for mezzo-soprano and orchestra, and it should be performed every 5 minutes, period. I've raved about it for years now, and if you haven't heard it, get the one on Chandos, which is wonderful, and just let it flow through you. It's extraordinary. And last but not least, another symphony, a big, colorful French symphony by Charles Tournemire. His Symphony Number 3, which is subtitled Moscow, or Moscow 1913, or something like that. It's got the bells of Moscow. Bells, 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 all over the place. And it's got that wonderful tune in Rachmaninoff's Suite for 2 pianos, the Russian Easter, ta-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta, pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa, ta-ta-ta-ta. It does all the Russian Easter chant-like things. It's so beautiful. It's a serene, spiritual, gorgeous piece of writing. Absolutely gorgeous. And you owe it to yourself to hear it. So there you have 16 works that ought by rights to be part of the basic repertoire. So if you think you've got some works that you really feel strongly about that really ought to be part of the basic repertoire because you just love them and know everyone else would love them too, feel free to give me a list, as many as 16 or as few as one. It's entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me, friends. Take care.